So yeah, that's it. So we got these two voices, and let's build a third one. I'm going to show another way how to make nice dynamic stuff, and that's another sample. I got another Pico drums. So I will take another channel. Here I know that it's going to be channel B because it channel E because it always is. That's coming back to the system talking. And let's mute this and make something going on here. And let's listen to it dry. And here again, system. The first one was like in the range from rim shots through snares to the claps. Here I'm from shakes, short snappy hi-hats through open hi-hats to rides to crashes. So on the left, I tweak right. And up here. So from short to the long, same system. So, and when you have like a sampler like this, you can like modulate the decay length also. You know, that's good for hi-hats and stuff. But what I usually do here, I sometimes run it through a filter. Depends what kind of music I want to do, but when I do run it through a filter, I use band pass to be able to have these like muddy, lofty like hi-hats, and the same thing applies with the VCO. So you can modulate this to get this like colors. But sometimes I don't run it through a filter at all because I go in both cases directly into a delay. That at this moment I'm using the tape delay algorithm in the this thing, which is this like Captain America module that can do fucking anything you like, but it's absolutely like hard to approach again because it's a module that can do many things. So if you want to use it again, make a system. What is it? What are you using it for, and how? Exploit that as much as you can, but don't change the mode. Otherwise, you're going to get into like this multiverse of like possibilities where you get lost. So for me, this is not distinct now. It's tape delay, right? When I want to change that, it's going to be something else. But it needs to boot up in it, and you memorize what is what, and then you can use it as an instrument performatively. So yeah, I'm using the tape delay because I like this. It's like many, little hits as dynamics to it. So I build that with the delay and change the dry, wet, so yeah, combination. No, I like it to be straight because I really use it for these like secondary hits, to make it really. Because when it's dry, it's just no dynamics at all. But this feels like, someone is like. So I like to use it this way. So that's my third voice. I combine them together. Sometimes this first one, as I showed you, I put it to the filter and use the same type of like processing with the FMing the filters with a VCO. So this is like my channel. You know, it gets mixed up over here. You memorize which is which because you have to play it and you don't want to go and like, so which is channel B? Is it this one? Okay, now I can tweak it. You have to know it's this one. So memorize that, make your system, be sure what it is and how you play it. But so we have the channel 3 here, which is all this, as I was telling to you, my mid-high percussion. And now let's move to the bottom percussion, which is kick drums, the art of kick drums. So and low tones. Let's do the kick drum. That I will patch this later because this is what I use now. It's, as I told you, it's snazzy module. I like it, whatever, blah 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 blah. But let's synthesize a proper kick. Eh? So yeah, I have the glory is in like the Hertz donut from Harvestman. It's like dual VCO. Why is it awesome? It just sounds awesome. That's parameter number 1. But second is that it has this internal modulation bus, and it's great to make your kick drum out of 2 VCOs, or 1 VCO plus filter, or 2 filters, or something going on. Because like, you know, a kick drum is very special sounds, very special voice, full of bottom, super important when you do something like that's supposed to punch, you know. So the kick drum can become bassline, and bassline can become kick drum. Same as like in this voice, like the hi-hat can become crash, can become snare, can become clicky stuff, whatever it is. The flexibility of the voice is what makes it a good instrument to play around for 1 hour in front of people. You want your voice to morph, to change, to like not be one simple sound. Is this supposed to be Pret? No, it's making some lights. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you want your voice. You want your voice to really morph into different, to many different possible like sounds. And kick drum really like can be your bassline, so it's good to design it that way, that it's not just this like static thing. And kick drum, like you just go and modulate it as much as you can, and make your whole bottom part of your music out of it if you like. So my favorite way how I was using it for quite some time, and it was working magic for me, was utilizing this module in very interesting way that I'm going to show you now for the kick drum. And also like I'm going to show you that trick at it. Let's do it. So I showed you already this like skis that is this dual decay envelope. So let's run a trigger into it, and as I told you, I made this like mod that triggers both envelopes at the same time. So one of them is for the amplitude, for the volume, and second is to modulate the pitch, to create this punchiness, right? So yeah, I will take this like envelope output and run it into the VCA right here, and take the VCO and take the output into the mixer, so we can like, so this is super basic. It just like controls the volume of these frequencies, like super stupid. So let's take the second envelope and run it into the
out from the skis. Like
yes.
the same envelope that
No. Now I have one envelope for the for the volume, and second envelope for the pitch. Right? So, and this is like dual digital VCO, so I can play this, and the second VCO is like we do this. So what I do is take the inverted volume envelope and heat up this like FM and duck it. Right? Right? So, what's good? Take any voltage sequencer that's like quantized. Take the CV, modulate the secondary VCO. There you go. Let's reset it. When you do the sequence like this, it's good to be short. I usually do just 4 steps.
Is there modulation between the first and the second?
Yeah, I'm making the second. I'm sequencing the secondary VCO.
Is it separate from the kick VCO?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the original, just the original frequency that gets modulated.
There's no way FM from the high-pitched one to the low-pitched one?
The high-pitch one is FM modulating the low-pitch one, like this. But I'm ducking the modulation. So it shows over here. Yeah. What's cool about this that like, make it long. When you have straight, this is like techno, but go and just like, you have this like 4-step sequence for the modulation that makes this like a rolling. Go and break up that rhythm, but keep this rolling. So if I make different pattern for the kick, it's still 4-step, but you know, this feeling to it. So, how was I using it before? Is that I use this one module for kick drum and hi-hat at the same time. So what I do is that I I take the output, the secondary square wave output from here, or any output when you have VCO with multiple outputs. Just take it and run it into its own FM input and make it go noisy, you know. So if we listen straight to that signal, it becomes, it's this noise. Yes. So I was using this as a source for the hi-hat, right? At the same time it's controlling the, so I can do it that I replace this with the in the hi-hat part. So let's make the hi-hat and place this voice, this sound into the, get this digital stuff together, kick, snap. Pick it up. the same time. That's space efficient.
You have a way of just like shit. I gotta understand this shit stuff. Make it just a kick with a simple movement.
Yes.
Very good.
It's this like ducking when you want to modulate kick drum and you have some form of attenuation for that. I'm using always this like inverted kick drum envelope. Okay, so you got the volume of the kick. Take that and control the modulation with it. So you keep this. It sounds like this without. It's not kick. It's bullshit. But like this, you let it have this punch, but add this harmonics and color afterwards. So it feels like a bass line, like something's going on, but it's still just the kick drum voice. This is just kick. This is like a dual VCO sort of like kick that I played many shows with, and it was working great. And now let's patch up the drum module. So I will unplug all of this. So we're back in business. Whoop. And I will take the kick drum and just listen how it sounds when it's dry. I need to split this. Whoop. Wow. Beep. And drum modules are super like simple. What's good about them is that when they're supposed to be a kick, they're always a kick. Like with this one, you like tweak something too much, and you're completely out of the kick drum sound. But that's good for its flexibility. But bad when you go too far away and I need to come back, when you're on stage, when you don't have like a really good sound, fine-tuning kick drums can be complicated, When you don't have sub bass, you need to hear the tones. When your kick is out of tune with your bass line, sounds like bullshit, like collage of sounds that don't make sense together, and it can be tough. So for this, I think actually the drum modules are really handy because they just have this like clamped range that lets you really be always what it's supposed to be. So yeah, let's run the kick and.
What do you think about the strobe tuners? You can plug two oscillators into, and they show with lights, so you don't have to listen to it. They just show when it stops, they're in tune.
Yeah.
Have you tried them?
No. I always orientate by ear. I don't even tune with normal tuners. The way I'm tuning my VCO, so that I will show later, is that I'm working with phasing. So
Yes.
I will show that later on. So it's just like basic kick drum, and what I really recommend to do is that even when you have a kick drum that has its own decay controls or something, go and use another one over it. So I will take this very same envelope from here and control that. So without it, it's like never-ending bassy thing. But I still have this control here, and I create this signal that I can use for other stuff. And what I like to do with this is that I run this through a filter. I put it in the filter, use the low pass output, and can completely filter it out. Add the resonance, and when it's overdriving, you can find this nice space. When it's you can put it into a wave shaper instead, or any sound mingling tool that sounds good with your kick. This low pass filter in this place. But then you take the envelope that you use for the volume and let it go with it. So it respects this and another step, modulation. So I can control this. You can completely self-oscillate the filter, but because you have this decay, it's not persistent there all the time, even though it's self-oscillating. If I would use it like this, it's there, you turn it off, you don't want it there. But when you have the envelope, it's there only when you like it. So that's the basic of the percussion and drums. I have the kick, and what I do with this module, because it's dual output, it's like kick A and kick B output. I use the secondary output for low tone. So just produces this tone, and what I do is just because
The second output is the first one without the VCA.
No, it's something completely different. It's just this. It cannot do anything else. It's snazzy. Because I have this possibility, I utilize it. I use this and take a second envelope here and make myself a low tone. So, boop, boop, let's go. It's there, I can go together. So I suddenly have low tone and kick drum. You could use, when you have dual VCO setup for your kick drum, you can have you can listen to them separately, have your kick and then your high FMing business also running through VCA and have secondary percussion voice out of that. So that's handy. And that's the drums. So do you have any questions regarding the drum sounds or anything, how it's running, what to do and so on?
I have one question.
Yep.
Do you unpatch anything during the show?
Yes, well, that's a thing that when you have a compact setup, you need to get variety and flexibility. You need to use many things. For example, there are things that you like to repatch, right? Envelopes, for example. Selecting if you use positive or negative range, right? Or modulation, things like this, or waveforms of your VCOs and so on. There's you repatch that directly during the show. Or what I like is like digital modules that lets you switch with button or knob twist. You know, that's good because I don't like repatching things that I don't have to. You know, because like patching, it's like takes time. You have to like focus on that something. You can ground your signals, whatever, make mistake, anything it is. You know. So like modules that have like this one has like waveform selection via button. I love it. Or switching like polarities and things like this. Attenuators, great thing because like you go positive, nothing negative. You know, it's one knob. It's great. It's much better than to have this rather than go and repatch your positive to negative output. You know, if you have to do this, it's very good. It's very good to make this simpler for yourself because just this like patching stuff live is in the end really troublesome, you know, like you it's time consuming and stuff and you end up not doing it in the end because like you have plenty of shit going on, you focus on that, but then you have you could have many other things with inverted envelopes, but you don't go and patch it there because you have to do it and you have to focus on so many stuff. So what's great is to have switches, simple AD switch. You can DIY that for close to zero money. Just like have a switch that has like one in, two outs, wire up your jack sockets there, and then put there your two signals and do it with flip. This is like, it costs nothing and it like makes wonders on stage. Because like things that you before didn't change up, suddenly you do it super easily and it's part of your performance. So at the moment I don't have any in the system, but I used to have like 6 of these switches there to like reroute my signals on the fly just with a simple swap. That's like so much difference when you have it with like one touch rather than like whole like thinking about, okay, is it now time to repatch stuff? Can I allow myself to do it? Because you know there's several seconds of nothing in between while you patch. You don't want that. You want it to be instantly, so it can be like next bar or whatever. You don't. This waiting is what prevents you from doing these things. You know that you have to like. If I want to reroute like this, I have like my. Now it's like, oh, it's not a good example, but let's say if I want to reroute this to something different, now it sounds completely different. And that's like suddenly part of your sound, part of your performance, and that sucks. So these switches.
Building the instrument, you need to relearn.
Yeah. So it's great to have a switch that like is suddenly part of the performance. You know, rerouting. That's great stuff. So yeah, this is percussion, and so now we have the percussion built up. And let's build a mono voice using this Hrtl donut that I used to use for kick drum, as I showed you before, but now I use it for bass lines. So yeah, what I do is that I have it's sort of like blend in. Now it's going, because so far it's like quite separate, but now we are going to cram all the shit together for like weird ecosystem, so it can get really confusing. So I'm sorry for that up front. As I told you, anytime you get confused or you don't know, just ask me and I will like elaborate on it more. Okay, so I'm going to combine these, like mix down these two VCOs that have its internal modulation bus, so they can really like talk to each other really well, straight from the panel, no rerouting and stuff. If you have normal analog VCOs and stuff, use these switches, use attenuators, things that like let you matrix mixing is, for example, great stuff for this, because like you can have just few modulation sources and multiple outputs and really blend these things together to like seamlessly without switches, without, you know, it's musical. You can like set it up, mix them together. I think nice matrix mix, for example, this like 4 to 4 channel from depth rate costs like 120, 30 euros, and it does magic for like when you have would have this situation, for example, with the drums, and you would have like VCO, and then you can take another VCO that you do basslines with and integrate it into your drums, or take envelopes from the drums and suddenly appear in your filtering of your bassline, and things like this. All seamlessly with positive, negative range, without repatching, switching, etc. So let's mix these two VCOs. Or this dual VCO, and just listen to straight. And here I have this second part of this 6-channel mixer. As I told you, it's like one 6-channel mixer or 2 3-channel mixers. I have this not only because it's Boston and I just get that stuff, but also because of its flexibility, you know. Because it can be big mixer or 2 small mixers. So yeah, let's listen straight up. So I got my waveform number 1. I can select waveform and waveform number 2. Mix it up. So I'm gonna want them to both follow one volt per octave signal. If I would have 2 different VCOs, I would need a buffered multiple to split it up together, because like as you know, if you do it passively, you get voltage drop and then your shit is out of tune, and that's not cool. It doesn't sound good. Unless you calibrate it for it. You can overcome that with like if you have analog VCOs and you have your free voice synthesizer, you can calibrate it for passive volt per octave this way. But then you use just 2 and suddenly you're again out of tune. So it's better to.
You're talking about the pitch entering the oscillator, not the
Yes.
exiting it.
No. Now I'm talking about the pitch entering the. Yes, as you said. So this one is really handy, again, because it has this tracking. So when I tune by this like phasing, right? If I want them both at the same frequency, out of tune, and when I achieve this. Now there, because this like phase is like really slow, and it's the VCO2 automatically follows the VCO1. So I save up on like splitting the signal via buffer to multiple, and it has this internal modulation, so I can like really shape the sound the way I like. Change the waveforms with button clicks, you know. Have many different timbres going on at the same time, which is really handy. For my like monophonic voice, I would like always like 2 VCOs is like good compromise. 3 is a little bit overkill unless you want to do some like chord steps and things like this. That's not even that interesting because they don't change intervals, but there's a trick that I can show you. It's really cool. If you have 3 VCOs, you can use gates for changing intervals within stuff. Let's do it. It's like worthwhile to try. So I'm going to, yeah, okay. Let's mix it up. Sawtooths. 1 second. So let's say I'm going to just do basic like pitch with this like volt per octave sequencer from Hrtl. And I would like to change the interval here, right? So I create myself take some gate and I will like make a gate for half of the pattern, right? I can use and anytime you have like FM input with attenuator, you can use this gate to change the interval. So point is to like prepare this interval before and then control it with the gate. You can combine them together to make like 1/5 up, for example, or octave up, and so on. This is not the best setup to do because now in the following I have to do it. Whatever, I'm going to spare you the bullshit. But like if I would have 3 analog VCOs here. That I could use actually the filter now, whatever. But the point is that like when you do this and you want to change intervals between the VCOs while you control all of them at the same time, use a gate to as a voltage source, static, you know, to make certain interval up, you know. So you can have them in unison and use a gate to one of them go octave up, for example. Or just a 5th up, or whatever, any interval you like.
You're attenuating a gate.
Yes, you're attenuating a gate and use it as a voltage source. That's like a good trick to bring some polyphonic mingling when you like mixing multiple VCOs for your monophonic sort of voice. Yes, gates. And like logic, whatever it is, just take it, attenuate the gate and use it as a voltage source for FM, right? So that's it. Let's come back to the voice, how I have it. So, this is my mix down, and I run this into a filter. And here is when this like signal switch, simple switch would come handy. Because I don't have to do this, but could simply switch. Mixer would be also after this very handy to mix down between high pass, band pass, low pass, but you can have simple switch. It depends what you want. Like this voice for me is really low pass low pass filtered bassline sort of situation most of the time, and when I really want to go into some like high stuff, then like I bring it down, repatch, and come up again. So here the signal is filtered, and now when I have this, I got like two VCOs, and I could either plug as a third one or something. You want to mix down your stuff pre-filter, and you take one VCO, second VCO, and you can add another waveform of the same VCO that you have, or noise. When you use noise, you can really easily go from your bassline-ish voices into percussive sort of Tommy sounds, you know. That's really nice. But in this patch, I usually, as a third input into this filter, I use mix down of my like polyphonic line, so I can have like steps over my like melodic progression. But noise is really handy here, or a different waveform. Mix it up, make like new interesting timbres, and that's it. Now I have this like mix down. I take this signal and put it into like this module from WMD, which is the ADSR VCA. It's like I was really searching for the ADSR I want to use, because my bassline, you know, for the bassline I bought this like 303 clone filter from Depfer, because I really wanted this like typical acid-ish like sound. So what I wanted is really like gated, nice, like very like bread and butter basic sound, but with the timbre and feel that I liked, you know, because I like this like effectiveness and simplicity of it, you know. And I can make like crazy bassline, weird morphing stuff out of my kick drum patch, and I want something stupid as a bassline patch. So that's why I would use ADSR, which is super like you know, ADSRs are not that interesting in my opinion. I much more like really like a weird looping AD envelopes, more like Serge sort of behavior that you can really shorten up loop and make like crazy drones out of that in seconds, rather than just like ADSR curve that, you know, you can't even modulate most of the time. So yeah, but for this patch I really wanted ADSR. I was searching what kind of ADSR it's going to be. There's like Depfer ones, you know, I didn't want to do you need this like visually see what it is, you know, and it needed to be space efficient, and this one, like, I think for this system is the best choice. I have multiple ones there, and this one stays because like it's 6 HP, nice tweakable knobs. I get to see the output on the LED without listening, and it has built-in VCA. So yeah, I needed an envelope for VCA and the same envelope for the filtering or whatever it is. So because it's supposed to be just the stupid bassline. So I picked this one up because it's yeah.
Can you modulate any of the knobs?
No, you cannot modulate shit. This is just ADSR with VCA, 6 HP. This is still running. I can also like make it like 7 steps long or something. Like this, and then use arpeggio, which like this thing that's like A, super cheap, B, they have it everywhere, so you can like put it in the rider or anything. But it has this like clock divider with a knob and arpeggio that respects the order of notes, how you put them there. So I can make a progression like this.
You put it into the area.
Yes, I just like put my notes. And the point is that like I make melody sequence separately from the gate sequence.
Drives that sequence.
No, the voltage, the notes go directly to the VCOs, and the gate is being sequenced separately. So they are not related, you know. And I can like anytime just go in and just keep it, you know. And then what I do is that I take another of these like automation sequencers, and I go and create my like
So the variation is just slaved.
yes, it's slave to the master clock.
It spits out.
Just volt per octave pitch CV. No. Because the gate from there is stupid. I want my gate to like see it, to like go and program it, you know. But the melody is still running, but I can do anything here. You know, the melody, don't touch it, but still many different variations. Together with drums. Yeah, I can like can go, you know. Really easily. That's one makes sense. Can divide it. So yeah, for my mono voices, I always like or any melody stuff, like I don't put the rhythm and the melody to the same sequencer. Have them separate. You have so much flexibility. When you have like your melody going on separately, you can just like change the rhythm and create different melody that has same quality, that is same motif, same story, but different variation. And you can play around with the variations and change the music you do, you know. So when you have them together, you have your that's one thing. But separately, you know, you can have same rhythm going on, change melodies, you know, but still keep the same groove. Otherwise, you change up groove to the same melodic progression. You know, keep them separate, and you have like billion times more flexibility than when you have them together. So I very strongly recommend sequencing your gates separate from your volt per octave signals for any melodic shit you're doing. So this is how I integrate the monophonic voice, and my mouth gets stuck again a little bit. So let's take a little break, and then I create the polyphonic voice, make them together, and that will be the patch. I can show you all kinds of things you can do with the patch and stuff, and we will like answer more questions, talk about shit in general, and call it quits.